Because this turn, I feel like it's really call where I'm attacking and protect with the right slot. I'm pretty sure that's the case here. YouTube, today we're trying out a brand new team, and you might recognize these 6 because they have been very common on the ladder, but they did get 11th in the March International Challenge piloted by Snow, and then another player known as Z did get top 8 at the Salt Lake City Regional Championship with this 6. And I'll be using Z's version today, and it's got some really fun stuff: a Life Orb Yveltal, a really bulky White Herb Landis variant, Screech Regieleki. And yeah, it's a very common 6, and I'm really excited to try it out. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. If you want to check out the details of the team, and Z also wrote a report on the team, I'll link it down below in the description. But let's get started and play some games. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zacian, Thunderous Incarnate Form, Gastrodon, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. Okay, this matchup, I'm not too sure because it's just the Thunderous is a little bit annoying to deal with. I should be able to manage properly, I think. But yeah, I think it's Eleki in this matchup. I think it's Zacian lead. I would say this is what I would want to lead most of the time because I don't know if they're leading Calyx. I guess they could lead Calyx plus Thunderous, although I'm not exactly too sure if that's going to be the case right there. I just really think Eleki plus Zacian threatens so much offensive pressure against their team though. And then I want in the back, I'd say Landorus and Yveltal. I definitely want to max. Who do I want to max though? Because if I want to max something properly, it's the Yveltal, right? The damage output that the Yveltal provides is better. Although Incineroar is also really tempting here because of course it's good against both restricted Pokemon as well as the Rillaboom and the Incineroar. Although I don't know if they bring Rillaboom. Yeah, I don't think they'd bring Rillaboom against my team. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring the 4 of Zacian, Thunderous, Incineroar. And then the last Pokemon, it's either a mix up between Gastrodon, Calyx, Shadow Rider, because he might be too scared of the Yveltal and the Double Dark. I do think that even if I don't max Landorus, I guess it's still a pretty good bring here. So let's just bring it anyway, because I'm thinking like, what's the scariest leads? And it's probably related to the, I think it's related to the Incineroar specific, or not Incineroar, the Thunderous. I think Thunderous is the scariest Pokemon to deal with here. And Screech Behemoth Blade can really threaten the Thunderous, even if it goes through like Assault Vest stuff. So that is something I'm like trying to aim for here. We're gonna see Thunderous plus the Rillaboom is an interesting one right here. Okay. Not what I would have originally anticipated lead wise. Okay. I guess I could have led like I could have led Yveltal plus the Zacian. That would have been really good here. Okay, what do I want to go for here? I could max here though with Eleki. Maxing Eleki is not too bad. Ooh, that is not a bad option because if I max Eleki, then I could potentially 2-shot the Thunderous here. I don't think it's support Thunderous. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be defined by the way they led this. And I do kind of like the idea of maxing here. Yeah, I'm going to max here. I'm going to double up the Thunderous slot, I think. Yeah, Max Lightning plus Behemoth Blade does way too much damage against their entire team. Rillaboom's interesting. So I'm imagining it's Incineroar, Zacian as the last 2. I'm going to double up though the Thunderous slot. Let's see if this pays off or not, because maybe it was better to Behemoth, because I feel like if I get the Behemoth Blade off and the Max Lightning, I do way too much damage. We see the swap here. Is this Incineroar? Good play on their part. Okay. So we see Incineroar come out. A good switch on their part too. If a Behemoth Blade went into the Rillaboom, would have been better. I wonder if they were just trying to bait a max specifically from Eleki here, because I thought max Eleki is just really good in this situation, and I didn't want them setting up too much with the Thunderous. If they went for an airstream, start boosting up, and I applied no pressure against the Thunderous, it seemed pretty bad. So yeah, I am going to Dynamax the Eleki here. Let's find out what the Rillaboom does here though, because Rillaboom could be a bit scary. I guess we'll find out. Gonna be Grassy Glide. All right. Does a really good amount of damage to the Eleki, but Max Lightning is going to come out into the Incineroar slot, which is going to do a really good chunk of damage. Fantastic. Okay. I got to watch out though. I do got to watch out. Behemoth Blade is going to come out. Wait, did the double up knock out the Incineroar? I guess this isn't too bad if that's the case, because if we knock out the Incineroar, we could threaten double up KO on the next Pokemon. Yeah, so Incineroar goes down to actually the double up. So Incineroar wasn't even a safe switch, but getting rid of their max Pokemon obviously would have been better for me. Let's find out who they're gonna bring out. Is it gonna be Thunderous? Because I'm pretty sure Thunderous goes down to a combination of Max Lightning plus Behemoth Blade, and Zacian might just go down to Max Lightning in the electric terrain here. So they don't have a safe option. All their options are pretty unsafe here. If they Calyx Shadow Rider, oh geez, that's actually going to be a bit of a pain. But I really don't expect them not to bring Zacian against the Yveltal right here. I think they losing the Incineroar is also really nice too. No more Intimidate to have to worry about. I could always switch out and reset. Let's figure out who to bring out next. I could also double up the Rillaboom slot. It really just depends because I have no idea what item that Thunderous is. If it has Protect, I mean, my safest play here is to double up the Rillaboom because I think I OHKO to Rillaboom here. And I think that's the safest call because I don't know. Thunderous, do you max guard? Do you protect here? That's an option, and Rillaboom takes the KO on Eliki. I don't even know if the Thunderous on their side can even knock out the Eliki. And if they can't even knock out the Eliki, then I don't even think there's a point of targeting down the Thunderous because the Thunderous can't OHKO either of my Pokemon, I think. Unless it's Life Orb. But if it's Life Orb, I think it just would potentially drop to an Air Max Lightning combination. Oh, we see the Rillaboom switch. Is this Zacian? It's Zacian. I think they went for the Airstream and are just praying that they lived, and we're trying to get the Airstream boost, but this is really bad for them because getting rid of their Zacian, that's huge, I think, for me. Okay, we do see a Dynamax come out from the Thunderous. Is this max guard? If this is max guard, I guess that's interesting, but I'd imagine I'm getting the KO into the Zacian. I'm getting a Behemoth Blade off into the Thunderous and getting some really good chip here. So regardless, this is fantastic positioning here. I just got to watch out because the Landorus could scare the Landorus is a little bit scary to have for. Oh, okay. I don't knock out the Zacian with Max Lightning itself, but I do double up and pick up the knockout here. Okay, that's still pretty good. Goodbye, the Zacian right there. I guess this is still scary because they get to reset the terrain. They do get to reset the terrain. They go for an Airstream into the Zacian, which makes sense. Okay. What item are you on the Thunderous? That's also going to be really important. Doesn't look like your Life Orb. I think. Yeah, I think you're Assault Vest. All right, if you're Assault Vest, this makes it interesting. Rillaboom comes in. How much did Grassy Glide do originally with the terrain? Let me look at the numbers. With Intimidate, do I survive? Because if I survive, that'd be really nice here. 132, so it did like about 180. Yeah, it did 180 exactly, which means I should live, I think, if I get one Intimidate off. And I definitely want to max Lightning because I want to get rid of terrain. So I think I just get the damage off into Thunderous, and even if I give them Defiant, at the end of the day, Zacian is still pretty healthy and Behemoth Blade can still threaten. So let's save our Zacian right here. Even if we give them the Defiant boost, it's still very manageable, I think, of an end game. We bring out the Landorus right here, which probably lives one Airstream too as well. Defiant going to activate, which is cool. We are going to be seeing probably Grassy Glide here and an Airstream, I'd imagine. Yeah, Grassy Glide comes out. Yeah, I do survive. Huge. That's a big survival because I am able to get a Max Lightning off, which means I get chipping the Thunderous. Absolutely huge. That does put in range of Behemoth Blade for the upcoming turns. And then we also get rid of this grassy terrain, so Grassy Glide is no longer an option that can outspeed and OHKO me. I can see the Knuckle. Okay. Into the Landorus. Okay, that's actually really good for me because they didn't go for an Airstream, which means they don't outspeed my Eliki, so my Eliki actually still threatens with a Thunderbolt or an Electro Web even. I could go for the Electro Web too, although I don't think I would want to go for the Electro Web here. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to go for an Electro Web here. I think I just go for a Thunderbolt into their... I definitely just want to keep turning down their Thunderous, right? I'm pretty sure that's like always the play. Just turning down their Thunderous with Rock Slide plus Thunderbolt because I don't need the damage on Rillaboom if I still have my Yveltal remaining. Thunderbolt does a good amount. We're going to see an Airstream come out into probably the... Oh, Eliki. Okay. Does Rillaboom OHKO me with... It's at neutral, so I don't think it does because this Landorus has a lot of defense. Let's find out. Goodbye, Eliki. We're gonna see Woodhammer. Okay, does this actually knock me out? Ooh, it does. Okay, this is still a game then. All right. Although I think this is still very heavily in my favor, if not a win, because I'm pretty sure that the Thunderous is Assault Vest by how well it's taken the moves from my Eliki. So I'm pretty sure that I can just go for a protect the Yveltal and Behemoth Blade the Thunderous, and I'm pretty sure that's just always a safe play, because even if they wall charge my Zacian, they pick up the knockout, but I'm pretty sure the recoil is enough for them to go down here. So I'm pretty sure it's always just a safe protect and a Behemoth Blade into that slot. Yeah, I think that's always a safe play. Actually, is it? They are +2 with the Thunderous, actually. Ooh, wait, hold on. Did I mess up here? Did I mess up here? I might have. Is it just better to double up the Rillaboom slot? It might be. I just don't know who they're targeting. Who are they targeting? Are they targeting down my Zacian? Are they targeting down my Yveltal? I think they have to target my Yveltal. Because if they don't target my Yveltal, because I think Rillaboom probably has high horsepower usually. Oh, this is close. I'm going to go for Protect plus Behemoth Blade. I feel like Yveltal, like if I get the knockout on their Thunderous, they do lose the game. But let's find out. They wall charge. Okay, it's in the Yveltal. I don't have to worry about recoil. Cool, so I am still faster than the Rillaboom, even though it's +1 speed, because they went for that Knuckle. The Knuckle changed the damage calc. If they were +1, I'd be very confident in living the wall charge. But then again, it's not Life Orb on the Thunder, so I might have just been able to survive. However, with the Knuckle boost, it did have the chance to outspeed my Zacian just Oko. They went for Wood Hammer again. Oh, right, their Wood Hammer aggressive glide. They might be fake out U-turn, then that means they don't have high horsepower, so... Oh, then that's a throw by me. I should have just doubled up the Thunderous, because even if they targeted Zacian, I don't think they could knock out my Yveltal in time. So yeah, that was actually a throw on my side. I forgot that they had Wood Hammer, so that meant that they shouldn't have had a way to knock out the Zacian. Unless it's high horsepower, fake out, Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide, which I guess is a set. It's not impossible to be. But yeah, they didn't have high horsepower, so we're safe. Behemoth Blade and the Oblivion Wing will KO the Rillaboom, and nice, we are able to pick up the win. Ooh, okay, that could have actually been a little bit scarier than I thought endgame wise. The Thunderous actually ended up being a little bit more terrifying. I think some really good turns though. KOing the Incineroar was actually not as bad for me as I thought it would be, because next turn it could have been like they get in Thunderous, they go for Fake Out, they go for Airstream, but then again Max Lightning was still doing a good amount of damage, so I don't know, maybe it was still, but KOing the Rillaboom would have been really nice, because that Rillaboom ended up being a bit of a problem. And then getting the KO on the Zacian on their switch out, because I thought I could KO the Rillaboom, and I wanted to deny a Zacian coming in for Airstream, and I wasn't sure Max Lightning plus the Behemoth Blade was enough to KO the Thunderous. And there's also a chance that if that Thunderous is an offensive set with Life Orb, it could go for a Max Guard or Protect, and that would have been a little bit annoying if the Rillaboom went for Wood Hammer into my Regieleki and picked up the knockout. So that's the reason why I decided to go on the offense there, and it did pay off. Even though I wasn't expecting the Zacian initially, I was able to catch it and finish off the game. Groudon, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Gastrodon, Zacian, Charizard. Very popular team. Not exactly sure how the matchup is supposed to be played exactly. I think I have an idea, but I'm not exactly too sure if it's the best, because this is whenever I use that team, this is what I would always end up seeing how other players would react. So I'm gonna go with like Eleki here, Eleki plus Yveltal alongside Landorus and Zacian. I think I've also seen Eleki plus Landorus lead, although I just don't know if that's going to be as good here. I think Yveltal's like really solid here though. Moongus doesn't really accomplish too much other than Gastrodon, which I think I do have enough tools to beat. Incineroar could be kind of nice, but I do like to switch in, especially for Landorus, and I do like having the Zacian here. Let us find out how this matchup is going to go. But I do think that this mainly goes around Eleki's only brought here for the Charizard specifically. Charizard is just such a big threat here. And let's find out. We do have Heat Wave on our Yveltal, and that could actually really come in clutch here. I don't know exactly what they would lead here. I think when I played, I bring Zacian 100%. I would bring their Incineroar 100%, and then Groudon, I think Charizard, but we're gonna see Incineroar and Groudon lead here. Okay, that's completely okay. Yeah, I lead Eleki plus Yveltal, and yeah, this seems like a pretty solid lead. Damage wise, I don't really mind the spot. I think Landorus is just like a really safe play here, and just going for the Protect with Yveltal. I don't know if they're going to max. I wouldn't be surprised if they just draw off attacks, Fire Punch, Precious Blades. They could go for the Parting Shot into Eleki as well. I do think that my safest play though is just to go hard into my Landorus right here though, and go for that Protect. And I do have the Wider for that Parting Shot, I guess, if they do target the Eleki slot, which could be a potential option. They could Dynamax the Groudon, which I don't think I would really mind, because I am getting this Intimidate off into the Groudon, so the Groudon won't be doing too much damage to me through Protect. Let's find out what their moves are here, though. I wouldn't be surprised if it's parting shot into the Yveltal, and it looks like no Dynamax. Okay, so we are able to protect the Yveltal here. Heat Crash is going to come out. Ooh, over Fire Punch. Decent amount to the Landers. A lot of damage in the Landers, and they did parting shot the Yveltal. Excellent. All right, not a bad turn for me. I think I just fire off an Earthquake right here. That Heat Crash did a lot, and I mean a lot. But yeah, let's go for the Earthquake here, and I do want to go start airstreaming up the Incineroar slot. They don't have a ground switch. I'm assuming it's Zacian in the back. Maybe it's Charizard, but the Charizard's going to take a lot from the airstream pressure. The Groudon has no way to one-shot my Landorus right here unless they crit or they get a really high roll with the Heat Crash, I suppose. But yeah, I really do like the idea of just dishing out as much damage as possible, getting this airstream boost. So I do threaten Charizard and Zacian. The next couple of turns, they could go for the Incineroar switch, but what do you have that switches into Earthquake plus a Life Orb airstream? Not really much, I would say, on your team. So Landorus and Yveltal are in a pretty commanding position, I think, against this team. We'll find out if it's going to be the case. So Groudon retreats, all right, into their Charizard. So they find a way to get their Charizard in. But their Incineroar is going down, and that means no more Intimidate against my team. So my Zacian is pretty safe here. We are going to go for the Airstream here with our Yveltal. And let's find out... I wonder if their Charizard attacks the next turn or if it doesn't, because I could double up the Charizard with Rock Slide plus a Dark move potentially right here. Upcoming Airstream does come out into the Incineroar slot, should do a nice 80%. Yep, a nice 80% with the Life Orb Airstream. The Incineroar is going to heal back with Fit Berry. Well, actually, I don't remember. No, it's Shuck Berry on this team. So Earthquake will just be able to pick up the knockout into their Incineroar. I could have went for Rock Slide, but I'd rather just go for the consistent damage. And yeah, Earthquake should be able to knock out the Incineroar anyway, and I didn't have to risk a miss. Earthquake does knock out the Incineroar, and that is a pretty nice turn 1 right there. Or turn 2, I suppose. Incineroar goes down. The Solar Power, so the Charizard is chipped. I don't know if it's Life Orb or not. That's a big question. How much damage will it be able to do against my team? We'll find out what they bring out next. If it's the Groudon, I want to Airstream the Groudon, I think, and I want to go for a Rock Slide because my Yveltal should be able to live 1 Wildfire because of how bulky Yveltal is in general. And I don't want the Charizard max guarding and the Groudon getting the knockout into Landers. We're going to see a Zacian come in, actually. Ooh, okay. Interesting to see the Zacian come out. I wonder if they're scared of... I mean, I could Earthquake Airstream the Zacian, but I mean, why wouldn't I go for a Rock Slide here potentially? Ooh, I guess this is kind of concerning because I have no clue, but the Charizard will still be slower than Elekey, and I do have an Elekey in the back. So I think I just go for the Rock Slide because I always want the damage into Charizard, and I think I always go for the Max Flare into the Zacian slot because a Rock Slide should just put the Charizard into range of Electric Move. Although, I guess if they do have Charty Berry and they protect the Zacian, that could be scary. We'll find out though. Because this turn, I feel like it's really call where I'm attacking and protect with the right slot. I'm pretty sure that's the case here. Maybe an Airstream Earthquake was safer because I always got the Airstream boost at least. Let's find out. We're gonna see. Ooh, Max Guard from Charizard. Okay, they expected me to target into the Charizard slot, but I do have Max Flare from the Sun, and this is one change from the original version that Snow used. And Life Orb Max Flare is able to OHKO the Zacian, which is absolutely beautiful. Right there, we are able to OHKO it, and Rock Slide is going to come out into the Charizard. And now I am in a phenomenal spot because it's Groudon out with Charizard, and I can always just threaten the Charizard slot with a Rock Slide and Airstream combo. And I'd rather just go for the Airstream though. I think I'd rather just Rock Slide the Charizard and Airstream the Groudon here, because the reason I want to Airstream the Groudon is because I want to make sure the Groudon's in range of Zacian Behemoth Blade, and as long as I get the Rock Slide chip again, I do have the Elekey in the back waiting, I think, the win here. I am going to be able to get an Airstream boost, or I could have went for Max Darkness. Max Darkness could have been an okay play too. We are doing a lot to the Groudon. Rock Slide, oh boy. Okay, Groudon avoided. It is Charty Berry on the Charizard, which is not too surprising here. If they go for Wildfire, it's okay, but Charty Berry, not as much damage as I would have liked onto the Charizard. However, we're fine. Airstream is going to come out. Yep, we are solid here. Isn't able to knock out the Yveltal. Yveltal's still around, and then I can bring out my Regieleki, and I think Thunderbolt should be safe here. They didn't even get a Wildfire, which is nice. They go for the Heat Crash into the Landers. That's going to pick up a knockout because we saw the Intimidate earlier. Yeah, Heat Crash actually does a lot to Landers. I did not expect that Heat Crash to do so much, even through the Intimidate earlier. Solar Power is chipping away the Charizard. We're fine. We go out in the Eliki here. We click Thunderbolt into the Charizard, which should be able to pick up a knockout, I believe. And if it doesn't, the Sun will probably pick up the knockout for it. And then I just Dark Pulse here. Or I Oblivion Wing the Groudon, which is another option. I definitely, or I could just Thunderbolt double up the Charizard, I guess, because the worst that the Groudon can really do, if the Groudon, like, unless the Groudon's super fast, which it shouldn't be because it took the Airstream too well, so it definitely has a lot of bulk, so it doesn't have speed most likely. I think I just double up the Charizard actually, just in case, because I don't want Wildfire going off. I'm pretty sure that this is safe, even if the Charizard max guards. It's the last turn of max, and Thunderbolt Eliki is still faster than the Charizard at +1, so Thunderbolt will be able to threaten the Oko onto their Charizard, and yeah, I think I'm safe. Oblivion Wing into the Charizard does a good amount of damage, and Thunderbolt will finish it off. And because I still think Zacian would outspeed the Groudon in the end, and Groudon can't pick up a knockout here. Like, the worst case would be Groudon has a Bulldoze tech, and it bulldozes my Eliki. But even if it bulldozes my Eliki, I still have a Yveltal at +2 speed that outspeeds the Charizard and finishes off with a Life Orb Dark Pulse after max is over for the Charizard. And they went for the Stone Edge here, so yeah, they didn't really have a safety measure right here. And yeah, we are going to be able to pick up the game, which is really nice here. And I guess we just fire off a Screech and a Dark Pulse right here into the Charizard slot. And yeah, that's really nice here. Okay. Just, I think, a really good turn 2, because the Groudon couldn't accomplish much unless it Dynamax. But if you Dynamax the Groudon, I don't think you get much defensive utility out, because you can't get max Quake set up. If you go for Steel Spikes, not that big of a deal, because Yveltal's still doing way too much damage to their team, and they weren't doing enough to my members overall. So yeah, really nice there, and it's able to really put on the pressure with Yveltal, because the Life Orb max Yveltal was able to do so much damage and gain the KO onto their Zacian, as I don't think they're expecting it. I think they're expecting a double up in the Charizard, and able to punish it was just really good. Yveltal, Zacian, Rotom Heat, Gastrodon, Grimmsnarl, and Incineroar. Double Dark, Double Fire. Rotom Heat is an interesting one right here, and it's a mirror of Yveltal and Zacian, which I don't know. I don't know if this is actually good or bad matchup wise. It's actually hard to say here. All right, I do want to bring Yveltal, because in the Yveltal mirror, I do think that my own Yveltal is going to be really good here. I want to leave Incineroar. Incineroar Yveltal is probably pretty good here. I also like the Eliki idea, because Eliki just Electrowebbing seems really solid here. So I think I'm gonna go Eliki plus Yveltal. It's just, is that policy on the Yveltal? Because if it's policy, that could be threatening, especially with the bulky team like this. I think in the back, I want Zacian for their Yveltal, and then it's Landers, I think. Incineroar would be really nice, because I love Intimidating this matchup, and just switching to Zacian. However, I might need Landers just because I don't know if I have enough answers to the Rotom Heat in mind, so I might have to go Landers right here. It might cost me, because Incineroar Fake Out might be really crucial here, and switching into their Zacian and their own Yveltal. However, I guess we'll just find out, because I'm really scared of their Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat does look terrifying here. A Grimmsnarl plus Rotom Heat could actually be a really scary lead for this team, but we'll find out. It is going to be the Incineroar and the Grimmsnarl lead. Okay, that's not too bad for me. I do lead the Eliki plus the Yveltal right here, and I really don't mind this. I think position-wise, yeah, I'm in a pretty okay spot. I can go for an Oblivion Wing, get some chip damage. The question is, who do I want to target? Probably the Incineroar, because it's hard to damage for my team. And yeah, I think I go hard in the Landers here, and I think I go for the Oblivion Wing. This could be Parting Shot. This could be Fake Out. I think this is probably Parting Shot. I don't think you ever Fake Out in this position. I'm just going to retreat to Eliki, because I think Landers is probably pretty good here. Damage-wise, Earthquake is going to put on a lot of pressure to stay in. I don't think they are going to. However, I'd rather just threaten, I think, with Landers now. Just get some chip into their team. Let's find out if it's the case. Light Swing's going to go up, which makes sense, because I did have 2 special attackers on the field. Although Yveltal could have been physical, but it wouldn't have done much anyway if it was foul play. Oblivion Wing going to throw off into the Incineroar for chip. Really nice damage. Okay. Let's find Parting Shot. Parting Shot does come out. Okay. We do have a White Herb on the Landers, so we're basically back to neutral right here. And does the White Herb activate? Okay, yeah, White Herb activates. Perfect. Let's find out who they're bringing out now. Is it going to be their own Yveltal? So I think it's Yveltal Zosh in the back, and that means that it's not if it's Yveltal Zoshin, I don't have to worry about Rotom Heat then. We do see the Zoshin come out here, which is fair. Behemoth Blade is going to do a lot. I'm going to retreat probably to Landorus here because Landorus is still very useful in this game. I'm going to go out into Eliki, I think, and go for a Protect with Yveltal. I'm worried because this endgame could actually be pretty tough. I don't know if Grimmsnarl is going to fire off a screen. Could be. I don't think he's Scary Face in this position. Thunderwave makes no sense here. Spirit Break could. I'm just going to Protect here to be safe. I don't know what they're going to decide to target. We're going to see Behemoth Blade. Okay, they targeted down my Landorus slots. Good play on their part. Ooh, okay. So I do have a Focus Sash, but I don't need it. Okay, did they double up though? They doubled up. That's annoying. Okay, Spirit Break. Cool. Spirit Break is fine here. I really... Still not exactly the easiest position. I could go for a Electroweb plus a Max Flare into this... into the Zacian slot, which could be really good here. I just don't know if that's ever to play because I don't think Max Flare KOs. I'm really worried about how much damage Behemoth Blade would do too. I think Electroweb's always a play though. I just don't know what I'm doing here, whether I'm switching out into Landorus or not. I think I just go for a Flare. Yeah, because I need damage on the Zacian. I can win the game, I think, with my own Zacian. I will find out, I suppose, because this is still kind of a tricky game. I'm just worried. Yeah, like these screens are definitely helping them in the mirror for sure. And also, maybe it was a bit too obvious that the Landorus was going to be targeted, so maybe I could have just went on the offense with Yveltal. If I had offense with the Yveltal, this could have been a very different position. We'll find out though. Electroweb does come out into both Pokemon. Looks like they threw off attacks here. I am able to get a Max Flare off and Electroweb off at least, so I do get some pretty massive damage right here. I guess the question is, how scary is their Dynamax in the end game? Max Flare does come out into the Zacian. A good amount of damage, just not able to pick up the knockout through the screens here. Let's find out what they're going to go for next. It's going to be play rough. Okay. We do survive, which is huge. And a Spirit Break into the... Ooh, this is really good. Okay. That's really good for me. Okay. So I am able to go out into my own Zacian, or am I going to Landorus? I like the idea of Landorus here. Yeah, I like the idea of Landorus and clicking Earthquake and Airstream. Yeah, I think Landorus is the call here. We're going to go into Landorus, get an Intimidate off. We're able to go for Earthquake. I guess how scared is Yveltal going to be in the end game? Because I'm worried about that a lot. I mean, very worried about it. I think we always Sword Stance with Landorus. I go for a Airstream, I think, into their Zacian. I think Incineroar's coming in for the Zacian slot, and I just don't know what's going to... Do I go for Earthquake here? Because I don't think a double up would knock out Incineroar. I guess that's fine too. Yeah. Now that I think about it, Earthquake is safe here and Airstream is completely okay. I'm going to target down their Zacian. Even though I'm -1 Landorus, I'll at least have the Airstream boost. Oh, they stay in to protect. Okay. Oh, they go for Reflect. Okay. We're safe. We're safe. We're safe. Okay. We didn't mess up. Although Sword Stance would have been really good there. God dang it. I should have Sword Stance. Sword Stance would have been the play there. Sword Stance and Airstream would have been fine. Yeah. Although we still have a lot of pressure against them regardless. So I guess this isn't too bad because we still have an Airstream boost. We can go for a Sword Stance the next turn. Oh, wait. Our Yveltal went down to the Life Orb. I didn't realize how much chip we were taking from Life Orb. Okay. Go for the Earthquake here. How much are we doing to Grim? Not that much with the Reflect. I think I messed up then. Yeah, I definitely messed up heavily. Screens went wrong here. I guess maybe it was just I think the Landorus swap was bad. Yeah, I guess the Landorus swap was bad. I was worried that they would play passive and go back to instant, but yeah, the Behemoth Blade throw off was pretty big. I'm gonna Sword Stance here and attempt it, and I think I just Behemoth Blade the... I think I got to Behemoth Blade one of the slots here. I just don't know who. I think it's into their Grimmsnarl here. I don't know if they're going to attack or not. Okay, they did attack with the Zacian. Did they attack with the Grimmsnarl too, though? They did, right? Yeah, they did. Okay, so to get a Behemoth Blade off into their Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl goes down. I could have went for Protect Earthquake, I guess, but I don't really like that too much. I don't think momentum-wise it got me much. Behemoth Blade is going to come out from Zacian into my Landorus, and I do survive probably one, I'd imagine. Yeah, I do survive one. Because I did get intimidated off into the Zacian earlier. I'm not in range of Fake Out. It looks like my Zacian is also faster than their Zacian, which is really good to know. They still have screens up, though, which is a concern. Incineroar is going to come in, which is fine, but... this is either a Protect Earthquake play or a Behemoth Blade into their Zacian and Rock Slide. Because I don't know who they Fake Out here. I mean, if I Protect Earthquake, then they lose 2 Pokemon, and then maybe I could beat the Yveltal with a combination. But if they target the Landorus, I think it's Rock Slide here. I don't think they can afford to Fake Out here. I don't think they can. I'm going to Behemoth Blade and Rock Slide. If they Fake Out my Zacian, oh, that's also pretty smart. So they Dynamax the Incineroar under the Reflect. Unless I went for the Protect Earthquake play and got a crit in the Incineroar, that was a really strong option. Because I'm pretty sure the Incineroar is living a +1 Earthquake with Dynamax and Reflect then. And I can't flinch the Incineroar either. Rock Slide is going to come out, but it's not going to be able to pick up a knockout. And yeah, this is going to be a guaranteed loss then. A really nice securing. I thought I had a chance because I thought they were trying to set up for their Dynamax Yveltal. But yeah, we are able to eliminate their Zacian. I guess we do get to confirm at least the final Pokemon. Unless... I mean, maybe I could win still. They Max Flare into who? Landorus? Okay. If I crit their Incineroar, I have a shot. If Crit Sacred Sword knocks out the Incineroar, and I do think it can, depending on their Incineroar spread, maybe, then I could play after Yveltal. Oh, it's Gastron. They don't bring Yveltal in the mirror. Huh, that's interesting. No Yveltal in the mirror. I guess they were scared of Eliki. Yeah, it looked like they were really scared of Eliki then. Okay, then the end game was still going to be tough regardless. I guess I just lost too much HP on the Eliki. I kind of lost momentum when they got screens up too, so I wasn't able to pick up like some really early knockouts. I didn't go for that Sword Stance play that one turn, and that Sword Stance play could have actually... The Sword Stance Airstream play could have really changed it. I could have went for a second Sword Stance potentially as well. So that could have been a thing, but yeah. I guess we Sacred Sword... We go for the Sacred Sword crit regardless into instant, and then we hope for the... Oh, it's Chabo Berry too. Okay, makes sense. Because you don't need Shuckle on this team with Rotom and the Yveltal. All right. So definitely an interesting take on this team. Did we see a version like this before? I feel like we could have. I'm not too sure, but all I know is there were definitely plays that could have been better. They definitely played the mirror better. I think the Eliki... Just the switch into Eliki was not great. I think I could have even Dynamaxed the... I could have Dynamaxed my Landorus and probably even been in a better spot too. It's kind of strange because if you don't position well against Zacian, that's one of the weaknesses of the team, and that's definitely something I didn't do well in this game. If I don't position well against the Zacian, then yeah, it's going to be pretty tough because the Zacian will do a ton of damage. We saw like how much it did to Eliki, Landorus, and the Yveltal. It was tough to knock it out with screens. And I didn't bring Incineroar, which ended up really did kind of hurt me. It could have helped me, but it did end up, I think having Incineroar, of course, as a switch in could have been nice there, especially against the Grimmsnarl Zacian. So that's another option. So I definitely do recognize that there were a lot of plays that I could have done differently, and it could have definitely changed the game right there. But well played to my opponent. And that is the show. Life Orb Heatwave Yveltal really being able to put in work. Originally, Snow did have Foul Play on his Yveltal, but Z added Heatwave on her version for Salt Lake City. And let me just say, Heatwave's been really nice to have. The fact that I can really threaten the Zacians that are not expecting the Yveltal to be able to do that much damage to them with Dynamax, but no, the Max Flare is a threat, and we saw how in the Sun matchups was able to put in some work. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. And if you want to go check out Z and her report, I'll link it down below the description alongside the details of the team. And yeah, check out the rest of my Series 12 content where I use a lot of fun teams and cool Pokemon. That's going to be it for me though. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.